Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome to the PowerWomen Podcast. This is the show where powerful women share their journeys, discuss how to solve powerful issues, and empower men who help us rise. I'm your host, Power Mom, Claire Brown. Hey, y'all. Hey, we are here today with a good friend of mine and guest, Stephanie Lamberth. Hello, Stephanie.
Hello, Claire. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And so I've known you for several years, and people around here locally in Central Arkansas know you well because you have your hand in many different pots, and you do a lot of advocacy. You're a woman-owned business owner. You do renovations. You're involved in real estate. You are a single mother and have been for many years. There's a lot of different things that you do. We're going to touch on one of those that you're doing today as well. So tell everybody, who is Stephanie? What do you do?
Well, you make me sound way better. I'm just going to let you have I'm just going to let you take off. But no, yeah. So I am a single mom. I'm 51. So I'm kind of in that weird, gray area of parenting and in life. And, my spa business, we will turn 10 next year. So that's kind of, in an interesting spot because it's not a new business. It's not a really old business. Then we also have the Skin Fix Foundation, which is relatively new that we do a lot of work through. And yes, my 21-year-old son has decided that he wanted to be in contracting. So that's what he and I are doing now together. And it's been super fun and we love it. And it's also really hard, but we're both learning a lot. And so, I do have my hands in a lot of different things, but I love it all. So it all feels like fun and not work. And the community, Little Rock community is so amazing. So it's really easy to give back to the community when they have supported us as much as they have. Yeah.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about mental health. And I know that is something that is close to your heart. And you've been an advocate for people to get help with mental health. We see it so much in the PowerWomen group. People help. Yeah, we do. We see people asking for help with mental health or seeking advice for mental health. And it is such a huge need, I think, everywhere. I don't think this is just here in Arkansas or Little Rock. I firmly believe that it is an epidemic everywhere. And, we're always looking for solutions. And you have been diligent in trying to find that. I love the fact that you're a solution-oriented person and always seeing a need and finding a solution or help for that in whatever area that may be. And so share with people, what took you down this journey?
So for the mental health aspect of it, I am a nurse and I've been in healthcare for a really long time. But obviously owning a women-owned business, a spa that we see, 95% of our patients are women. And I just became way more aware of the challenges that other women were facing. It really was kind of like, oh, whoa, it's not just me who's having perimenopause symptoms or postmenopause symptoms or trouble raising a teenager or anxiety, things like that. It's really everybody, but no one's talking about it.
Right.
And then several years ago, my son and I went through a really traumatic event, and he and I both took a huge hit to our mental health. And it was just by the grace of God, through a lot of therapy, a lot of prayer, a lot of really hard work. He and I both made it to the other side. And through that, I really had to stop and think, like, wow, if this is happening to me, this could happen to anyone. And I'm someone who has the resources, and I still had trouble getting both of us help. And so that really has kind of thrown me into the midst of being very passionate about it, because we do see women coming into the spa who are wanting to make physical changes to make themselves feel better when that's really not what they need. and really not what they want. And so I think there's a lot of things that took me down the mental health path. But the one thing I do want to make clear is I am not a mental health professional. I'm a nurse. Do not have a mental health background other than, the intense therapy that I have been through pretty much my whole life, and the therapy that my son went through, and then just, from others. And so we really have created a space in Skin Fix Med Spa and also in Grant Place, which is our commercial buildings behind there. We've got a lot of mental health professionals that we have just congregated together and are really hoping to make a big change.
Right. So I too am not a mental health facilitator, therapist, licensed in any space of that kind. And I do believe in changing the patterns of our past. And the only way to do that is to look at those in a deep microscope and through therapy and through other avenues within the mental health system. And so you mentioned Grant Place, and that is another one of your ventures that you did not speak about, and you are involved in a lot of real estate ventures. And Grant Place is a commercial space that it was a apartment building.
Yes, it's two buildings that were apartment buildings.
Yeah, and you converted them into office spaces, which are beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
And it was what?
It was such a hard project, but it was a fun project.
Yeah.
And seeing it come to fruition to give women the chance to own their own business without entering into this big commercial lease, without all of this overhead. It's just been so rewarding.
Yeah. And there are mental health professionals in that space.
Oh, absolutely. The majority is mental health.
Right. And so I love the fact that you've created this community just right there so that you can basically have all the resources that you need all in one space. And you can have mind, body, spirit, everything right there. It's one-stop shop almost. And so it's a really cool place to visit. And it's pretty as well.
It is. And if no one in Grant Place or the Skin Fix building can help you, then we can refer you to somebody else, because we have a great list of practitioners and clinicians who are very capable that we refer to all the time.
Right. And so one of the things that y'all have in that community is this new thing that is kind of transforming mental health. And what is that?
So this is a machine called ExoMind. It is a TMS device, and TMS therapy is transcranial magnetic stimulation, and it has been around for a long time. It's FDA approved for treatment-resistant depression. Got it. So it is FDA approved for treatment-resistant depression. So the TMS part is just a machine. Just think of it as like an MRI machine, right? But typical TMS machines they're very large, they're cumbersome, they're uncomfortable. You have to do 30 sessions in a row. They're very expensive. Insurance will cover it typically if you have exhausted all other measures of medication and, say ketamine and so many months of talk therapy and psychiatric care and things like this. Well, there's a company called BTL, and they are the leading magnet producers in the world, I believe. And they invented this great TMS machine that is very comfortable. It's 24 and a half minutes. It's 6 sessions that you can do really close together and get it done in a week or two, or you can spread it out over 6 weeks. So they've really made it comfortable, and it's just it's kind of like 24 and a half minutes that you just get to lay down on a vibroacoustic mat that helps to reset your vagus nerve. The TMS machine just goes right up on the left side of your head, which is where your prefrontal cortex is located. And it's just kind of tapping. It's stimulating that prefrontal cortex is what the machine is doing.
Yeah. And so Go ahead.
So let's talk about the prefrontal cortex. And I'm going to be super basic and just keep it in layman's terms. The prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain that's responsible for executive functioning, memory, sleep, emotional regulation, cravings, addiction, desire, that part of your brain, right? So it really is responsible for a lot of things. So if you don't have the neuroplasticity, if you don't have the capacity of your brain to kind of switch waves and think of things differently and process things differently, then you kind of get stuck in a pattern. And this machine helps your neuroplasticity. It helps you revamp those pathways to adjust and handle things in a different way.
Right.
So where TMS therapy used to be thought of as just totally a psychiatric, like you only get TMS if everything else has failed. This is now becoming more mainstream of this is a wellness device. This is a preventative device. It's not just a last ditch effort. So the things that it treats are sleep, depression, sadness, anxiety, perimenopausal symptoms, postmenopausal symptoms, binge eating. A lot of people are doing it in combination with their GLP-1s when they want to be able to either lower the dose, start to microdose, or to wean off. Some people do it for that. It helps with my irritability. It also helps me people better, because I people all day. So I just get real exhausted and I'm tired by the afternoon. And it just really helps me kind of go a little bit longer and just feel better overall.
Right. From what I'm hearing, though, this also is a huge benefit to the people who suffer with addiction.
Absolutely. So let me tell you the greatest story ever. I'm so proud of it. So there was an addiction treatment center in Little Rock that called me, and they said they had an employee who had been clean for a very long time and had recently had some things that happened in life that set back their depression. And this person was doing all the right things. They were going to talk therapy, seeing the psychiatrist, had done ketamine treatment, regular SSRIs, things of that nature. And they just could not get back to baseline. And when you come in, we do an assessment, and the depression score of this person was 27 out of 27. The addiction craving score was 9 out of 10. And so they were very concerned that she was going to relapse. And she did not really think that this therapy was going to be very helpful, but it was a last ditch effort. When I saw this person on the very first visit, I was very concerned. You could tell this person was just really in not a great place. By the end of 8 sessions, this sweet human walked out smiling, looking amazing, depression score of 3 out of 27, a craving score of 0 out of 27, and was able to return to life as she knew it. And she's like, I never in a million years thought that a magnet on my brain was going to help me.
Right.
And then she did come back about a month or so ago and just said, hey, I need a little touch up. Can we do a little touch up? And she needed one visit, and she was off on her way, and she'll call me when she needs another little touch up.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so fantastic.
It really is. And that's exactly why I bought the machine, and when this machine presented, I want to be very clear. When this machine presented itself to me, I was not gung-ho on it. It was not something that I was like, oh yes, let's purchase this machine that's basically cost more than a house. Because it's not my wheelhouse. It's not my expertise. I am literally running the machine for mental health providers. It's like I said, it's kind of like an MRI machine. If your doctor has suggested or your clinician has suggested that TMS therapy might benefit you, we've got the machine for you. And so when it presented itself, I gave it several months. And because I thought surely somebody else is going to, purchase this machine who actually is in the mental health arena. And because it is such an expensive machine, they didn't, because they still have the older TMS machines. Insurance pays for it. So I get it. They didn't want to make the investment, but it was just something that I felt very strongly about. And through the Skin Fix Foundation, because we do work so much with addiction, I really knew that this could help a lot of people. So we dove right in, and we've had it about a year now, and we've helped so many people. And it's been great.
Yeah. Yeah. So to be clear, like if this is of interest to you, or you are looking, or you think or know of someone that this could help, encourage them to talk to their provider.
Yes. And if they don't have a provider, they can give us a call and we will talk through things with them. We have a medical doctor. We have 2 nurse practitioners who always do assessments and work with the clinician. Now, if you're just wanting to do this for wellness because you are maybe perimenopausal, or you are trying to lose some weight or cut your, sugar cravings or something, that is a wellness plan. Right? We are doing that for wellness.
Right.
But if you do have treatment-resistant depression and you are on medications for it, that type of thing, we're going to want you to be seeing a clinician at the same time to help work through any things that might come up with that.
Right.
If you don't have a provider, we have a laundry list, a long list of great clinicians we can refer you to.
I'm sure.
And we actually do have one in-house as well.
With that community that you have, absolutely. There's several. And in researching things, the numbers and the statistics of mental health in our country are huge. And the numbers also show that most Americans believe that mental health is an issue. And that 1 out of 10 men every year are diagnosed with depression or anxiety, and 1 out of 5 women are diagnosed with depression or anxiety every single year. The disconnect is that they then don't get treatment for it. And the hurdles of why they don't get the treatment is what we're trying to bridge in that gap.
Right.
And the hurdles are the stigma around mental health. There's this massive stigma, more so in men than with men than there are with women. But it's still there. And I think there's also the conversation around, or you hear it at least, of, I don't want to take medication forever. Or I just don't want to take medication at all. And, and I don't want to go to talk therapy forever, or how long am I going to have to do this? And, everybody has a different way, and that's okay. And this is a different solution. And whatever works for you is great. And so at least try something.
Absolutely.
And get some form of help, because whatever it is not working right now.
Exactly.
And so
I love this machine for men. They have been calling it the brain fog machine.
Okay.
So a client sent her husband in. He is on a very high level executive job. He did not want to go to therapy, but he was under a lot of stress. And we kind of presented it to him as just kind of like a little reset. And it was working so well for him that now his friends are calling and saying, "Hey, tell me about this brain fog machine that you have." And so that's kind of what we call it for men. But there's less of a stigma for them to do that.
Right.
To come in for 24 and a half minutes and you don't talk at all. You just lay there. You lay there in total silence with your vibroacoustic mat and the machine, and you turn everything off and disconnect and let your brain do the work.
Right. So again, I mean, whatever the treatment is that works for you, do it. And this is a new alternative that could work.
Absolutely.
And it's short term. And so go and try and do. And so I think that's a huge benefit, and women are diagnosed with more mental health than men, 1 in 5 women rather than 1 in 10 men, because we tend to go through so many different things in life than men do that cause mental health. I mean, you've already mentioned menopause and perimenopause. Well, many of
Lord.
us have. It's a journey.
It's a
But and it seems to last forever, and
and when
it's hot.
it's not, it just comes right back. Like,
I tell you, man.
gross.
Right. But I mean, backing that up, I mean, starting in puberty when we have to start having a premenstrual cycle, and that will then start anxiety and depression on its own. And then pregnancy, postpartum, miscarriage, infertility, hysterectomy. I mean, all of these things are specific and isolated to women. And,
Even having
it's so important.
even having a perfect pregnancy and birth and perfectly healthy child, there's still
Right.
stress, right?
There is. Yeah. That postpartum time, none of it is as you imagine. Just go to a baby shower and listen to everybody's stories. They'll all tell you, and again, men have this idea of, if you're anything other than perfect, you just have to quote, man up. And that is not the case. We're all going to go through, peaks and valleys. And when we go through those valleys, it's okay to say, hey, I'm going to add this to what I'm doing to help me get back to the peak.
Mm-hmm. I'm really hoping that this generation is going to change that. Even with my own son, who's 21, he is so emotionally mature and so willing to talk about the things that are going on in his life and the things that he's been through, and seek assistance when he needs it. And I'm very proud of him for that. And I really think that this generation is going to help turn that around.
I tend to think that they are. I don't talk about my children a whole lot. And, one of the most powerful questions I asked my son one day, I said, are you having more trouble controlling your emotions or your mouth? and it's a valid question. And he paused and he looked at me and he said, my emotions. I said, okay, that's clarity. So let's work on that. And so, just trying to figure it out and tune in, it's really helped.
It does.
So, but thank you so much for bringing this for others and helping, in what is a massive undertaking of mental health and, making it available when no one has in our area. And so if someone doesn't have insurance and it's not covered, what is the price point for treatment?
So we have recently worked out a membership plan because, like I said, you'll need those 6 to 8 initial sessions, and then you're most likely going to want to touch up, right, throughout the year. So we have created a wellness membership, and that is a $200 initiation fee to sign up, get your auto draft, your assessment, all of that done. And then it's $200 a month, and it includes your 6 to 8 sessions. And then it includes sessions monthly directed by your provider. If your provider thinks you need to come in only once a month, great. Every other month, 2 to 3 times a month. We want it to be accessible to everyone. And if you are unfunded and don't have the resources for it, then you can apply for a scholarship through the Skin Fix Foundation. And the Skin Fix Foundation does have funds that are available for that. And the machine is also mobile. We've talked to a couple of large corporations. They would like to bring it in, one day a week, and we would treat all of their employees that needed it, that were referred by their physician. And so that is also an option too. If anyone is interested in that, they can reach out and we can give more information.
I love
and we
that.
are actually in the process of researching insurance as well. A couple of the therapists in the office would like for us to take insurance. So we are researching that as well. It's just going to take a little bit to get it all set up.
I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So good. So well done. There are no limits. And I love that you've made that accessible to there's no limits. So anybody can afford this at any cost. So
mental health is just
Thank
something
you
that we all need. We all need it, and it should be accessible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Life is hard, and we need help with that. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Thank you for all you're doing, Stephanie. Thank you for your heart and always giving to others. And I so appreciate you being here and sharing that with us.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening. If you like the show, please rate and review on iTunes and check out our website, thepowerwomen.org.